Top 20 Higher Education Administrator Interview Questions and Answers. Higher education administrators are in charge of administering programs, hiring and supervising employees, managing finances, and making choices that affect the academic community. They're also in charge of creating a vision and mission for the place where they work. Student affairs administrators in higher education may be in charge of residence hall living, student programming, and extracurricular activities. Here are the top 20 interview questions and answers to help you ace any higher education administrator interview. 1. Why are you interested in this role? This question is the most asked question during the interview. Because they want to know your interest in the job. Sample answer. The administrator is an important member of the team and for setting up the education office. Whether it's coworkers, tutors, students, or clients, the first person you will contact will be the administrator. I'm ready to take on a larger leadership role in defining the educational process and policies that affect all pupils. I want to focus more on big-picture education issues, as much as I enjoyed my time in the classroom. I'd like to work more closely with students and their families on issues such as discipline and academic development. Being an administrator of higher education, I wish to expand on my experience in maximizing resources and curriculum development. 2. What are the roles of a higher education administrator? Parents, students, employers, and the community are all dealt with by the education administrator. So the role of higher education administrator is very important. The answer should include all the duties and responsibilities of higher education administrators. Sample answer. He is in charge of budgeting and ensuring that financial systems are adhered to. He is in charge of student services such as guiding programs, training, overseeing, and motivating faculty members such as instructors and auxiliary personnel. He serves on academic boards, governing organizations, and task groups among others. He supports an academic team of lecturers, tutors, or professors with recruitment, public or alumni relations, and marketing efforts, as well as providing administrative support. He is in charge of drafting and interpreting regulations, as well as dealing with questions and complaints. He makes every effort to maintain high standards of quality assurance, including procedures for course evaluation and approval. The educational administrator helps with making policy and planning. He is in charge of purchasing things and equipment needed for higher education, as well as processing invoices. 3. What are the qualities that an higher education administrator needs to be successful? The higher education administrator is responsible for a wide range of tasks in order to keep a school functioning smoothly. If you're planning to hire an administrator or begin an administrative career, here are 5 crucial attributes to look for. And you can answer the question through these qualities. Sample answer. Being a great listener. Higher educational administrators spend a lot of time listening to others, including assistant principals, teachers, students, parents, and employees. As a result, they must develop and practice active listening skills on a daily basis. Promotes inclusion and equity. Higher education administrators value diversity and welcome students from all walks of life. They must treat students equally. When a good leader is in charge, students feel protected and secure. Being a problem solver. The higher education administrator's role is centered on problem solving. The new administrator is often brought into a school, college, or university when it is having a hard time. Any administrator, whether new or experienced, will be called to assist with a variety of difficult and complex situations. Dedicated. An administrator must be committed to his work and believe that all decisions should be made with the student's best interests in mind. The administrator must exemplify the ethos of the institution. 4. What major challenges did you face during your previous job as an higher educational administrator? This question is about your ability to solve problems and perform better. Your interviewer wants to know how you react under duress and how you cope up with difficult situations. Do you maintain your composure? Every work has its own set of difficulties, and your response will reveal to the interviewer how well you will do in the new position. This isn't something to be concerned about. Sample answer. As a higher education administrator, I used to be an event coordinator. I needed to find a speaker for a major annual event. Despite the fact that we had everything in order, our speaker informed me just before the big day that he would no longer be able to come. I couldn't go through the same process of finding a replacement speaker on such short notice. I asked him to suggest a few people who would be willing, able, and qualified to speak at the event, and he did so. I spent the entire day contacting his referrals and was able to persuade a local person to present for us. I prepared a few talking points for him and shared the program outline with him. 5. How did you manage them? In any job interview, you'll be asked about your previous employment. What were the biggest obstacles you had at your previous work and how did you deal with them? An easy way to answer the question is that. Recall a huge difficulty you overcame and considered a success. Explain how you accomplished it, not just what you did. Make a big deal out of the result and what you learned from it. Sample answer. I had a student who was making unpleasant disrespect notes on student papers during peer grading assignments during a summer session. I set up a meeting with the pupil and invited my principal as a witness. I told the student calmly but firmly that the kinds of statements she was making weren't helpful, in fact, they were harmful. Following that, the three of us had an in-depth conversation about the best types of comments to use on student papers. In the end, the student gained a firm grasp on how to deliver helpful, non-offensive comments to other students. 6. Describe your daily routine as a higher educational administrator. Depending on the educational institute, different procedures and protocols apply. This is due to the fact that each institution has its own administration. You should begin your answer by stating, sample answer. When I was an administrator, I firstly used to go in every class. I used to ask them if they are facing any problem related to teachers or any other stuff. Then I used to come back to my office and started to think about the solution for the students' problems. Because solving students' problems was my main aim. Then I used to check the staff attendance whether everyone is present or not. After doing this, I used to do my main work. My work usually includes making decisions, manage the budgets, formulating new policies regarding staff and students that can have good impact on the institution. 7. Describe briefly your experience. This is a difficult question to answer. You should be upbeat when you are discussing your previous experience. The most effective response is to narrate your duties and achievements and connect them to the position you're interviewing for. This shows that the candidate is conversant with the administration tools. The abilities people require to work for your educational administration are usually acquired through experience. To this question, you can respond by saying, sample answer. The years of experience of being a higher educational administrator have properly prepared me for this role. Students play an important role in this position. I spent 3 years as a higher educational administrator, identifying and solving problems for students, employees, and institutions. Among the students and employees, I was a well-liked administrator. 8. What kind of strategies and mindsets are required for higher educational administrators? To be a well-respected higher education administrator for students and instructors, then the higher educational administrator must employ the following tactics. Sample answer. He should give teachers more power and encourage them to develop leadership abilities. He should develop learning environments that are collaborative and inclusive. He needs to be enthusiastic about their task. He should encourage people to take risks. He should set an example for others to follow the path. He should be aware of the significance of creating a sense of community. 9. What is the biggest challenge that you foresee in a higher educational administrator job? The best answer to this topic is to improve everything that has to do with students. This should be your primary priority in this position. You can mention the following points in answer. Sample answer. The increase in student attendance. Student self-control. Keeping and training the teachers, as well as the rest of the personnel. Technology access. Increasing the effectiveness of governance and management. 10. How do you stay motivated during your work time? You should start your response with the following things. Sample answer. By focusing on other motivators, you can stay motivated. Outside of work, I'm looking for motivational changes. Take solace in whatever I'm doing. Make new work-related personal goals. I'm considering my impact on others. Set deadlines for yourself. Accept constructive criticism. 11. Describe a time when you failed as an higher educational administrator and the lesson you learned. Nobody wants to be a failure in life, someone who hasn't accomplished anything. Despite this, all successful individuals will tell you the same thing. Without failures, there is no development. When everything goes according to plan, and we proceed from one success to the next, we don't learn much and surely don't grow as people. That is precisely what makes this interview question difficult. Sample answer. Whether we succeed or fail, in my opinion, is mostly determined by our own expectations. In my last employment, I failed to meet my administration's expectations. Was it, however, a complete failure? No, I don't believe so. Only if I did not give it my all would I consider it a failure. This is not the case. Failure is a necessary element of every success narrative, and I am mentally prepared to face both successes and failures. 12. What makes you believe you're the most qualified candidate for this position? The interviewer is looking for a couple of things when they ask, why are you the best applicant for this position? They're looking for a straightforward, confident response. They also want proof that you know what you're doing and have the talents you'll need to thrive in the role. This is a challenging subject since you cannot sell yourself solely on the basis of your education and experience. They want to know how you think of yourself and what you value in yourself. You should emphasize your greatest skills, such as your work ethic, background in other fields, such as finance, fundraising, charity work, adult education, student-teacher training, ability to speak a second language, grant writing. Perhaps you have a special education license, and so on. Responsibility, integrity, kindness, and a love for children, as well as a desire to make a difference in their lives, are all qualities that interviewers look for. But don't only think about how much you love kids. Sample answer. I'm a hard-working administrator. I always tried my best to give my best for the students, teachers, and for the whole staff of our school, whether the matter is related to the peon of the school or to the students. I always try to manage the situation. Moreover, I'm humble with everyone. That's my important quality. 13. What are your greatest achievement? It's not as difficult to respond what is your biggest achievement or what is your greatest accomplishment in an interview as you may believe. It can be enjoyable to discuss our skills and accomplishments. Achievements that demonstrate teamwork or the ability to push yourself in challenging conditions are ideal. Sample answer. My greatest achievement was the day my institution received the top grades in our district. Last year, our institution did not receive enough points to earn a spot on the district level. However, I accept the responsibility of receiving the top grade in the district. By the grace of God, and thanks to my staff and our students' hard effort, we were able to achieve the top grades. 14. Why do you want to quit your job? Interviewers want to know why you're leaving your previous position. You should not lie if you were fired or let go from your former institution. Because a background check would quickly uncover you, you must speak the truth right away. Sample answer. I'm seeking a new challenge and a chance to advance in my profession. I couldn't work and job hunt at the same time. I'm relocating to this area due to family obligations, and I've quit my previous job to focus on the transition. I'm looking for an education institute where I can contribute and grow as part of a team after several years in my former position. I'm looking for a new challenge and a chance to put my technical talents and knowledge to better use than I have in the past. 15. What are your career ambitions over the next 5 to 10 years? Prepare a brief outline of your long-term objectives for the next 5 to 10 years. Include both your educational and job ambitions, as well as your educational goals that will help you build your talents. Never bring up your ambitions to relocate or take time off to start a family. This is also an excellent time to include a description of your professional objectives for the school to which you are applying. Declare if you want the school to be known for its high test scores, improved graduation rates, enhanced technology, or increased student retention. Demonstrating that you have defined school objectives will position you as a serious administration candidate. Sample answer. In the past, I've used my skills and abilities to help the institute achieve its goals and encourage other team members. I hope to stay with your institution for a long time, join committees, and support your long-term objectives. Over the next 5 years, I plan to encourage students, improve graduation rates, enhance technology, broaden our work in the advertising world of education, and launch a number of important initiatives. 16. What is your philosophy of education? This is a question you should carefully consider before interviewing. It's a good idea to write down your administration and leadership philosophy. Bring the document to the interview with you to refer to it if necessary. Sample answer. My philosophy of education is a declaration about the value and purpose of a good education in the life of a student. In an educational institution, for example, the learning environment is demanding, pleasurable, safe, open, and supportive. How would you like to see education improved? How your institution will cater to the requirements of individual students. I will make students acquire responsibility, good citizenship, hard work, caring, dispute resolution, exceptional people skills, and honest. 17. Who influenced you to become a higher education administrator? Make this question as personal and authentic as possible in your response. Maybe you'll have to think about this for a while to figure out the genuine answer. The panel is interested in learning about your reason for working in education, whether you were impacted by anyone, and how you discovered your vocation. Mention 1 or 2 university professors, other educators, or family members that have influenced you favorably, and explain how they did so. Sample answer. I was highly impressed by my school administrator. She was humble, caring, and hardworking. She inspired me a lot through the way she used to handle every situation regarding our school. 18. What hobbies do you have while you're not at a job? This question provides a great opportunity to stand out by giving a detailed account of your life outside of work. Make a brief statement about your interests and activities to answer this question. Do not disclose any parties, drinking, or other activities that may reflect poorly on you. Sample answer. I enjoy spending time with my family. Reading and physical activity are my worthwhile pursuits. I love gardening and painting. 19. What is your greatest weakness? No one enjoys answering this question because it necessitates a fine balancing act. You simply cannot lie and declare you don't have one. You also cannot deceive the interviewer by claiming a personal strength that is actually a problem. For example, sample answer. Working too much and failing to establish a work-life balance is my weakness. I'm not always as patient as I should be with subordinates or coworkers who don't grasp my ideas, or I'm still worried about giving presentations and talking in front of people or in meetings, and I'd like to improve my public speaking skills. 20. Why are you interested in collaborating with us? The interviewer is mostly interested in seeing how much you know about the institute culture. Every educational institution has its own set of strengths, which you should emphasize in your response. For example, if the institute prioritizes student integrity, then you'd like to be a part of such a team since you believe in it as well. Sample answer. The institution's integrity regarding each and every matter is very attractive to me. Therefore, I would like to be a part of such a team. Conclusion. These are the top 20 most asked questions in the interview of higher education administrators. Make sure you know the answer to these important questions. We hope you will succeed.